What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am back. I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks. My apologies. I've been extremely busy grinding. I'm going to show you exactly what I've been doing before we get into today's video. So here is the first thing that I've been busy with. You can see I've made a couple of builds since we last finished our career playthrough, and I've created a new daily. Again, I said I wouldn't, but here we are. So I have a 6'9" point guard like everybody else, but a little bit different. So he's 6'9", 200 pounds, 7'7". He can do a little bit of everything. Like I was saying before, I wanted with my other build. So he can handle the ball, he can defend, he can post up, he can score, he can shoot, can do a little bit of everything. So I really enjoy that. And then we also have this other build at a 94 overall. And then you can also see my team lineup here. I've been grinding that a little bit. I unlocked this Westbrook, which absolutely phenomenal card. Pulled this Luka out of a challenge pack, and then I just went ahead and bought some of these other guys, waiting for some of those other pink diamonds to tank. Now, in personal news, I've actually been cutting or dieting for about a month, 2 months now, and I've dropped a fair amount of weight. So I went from, in kilos, 102 kilos to about 89-ish. So I don't know what that is exactly in pounds, but I think it's from around 225 to around 200. So you can just say rule of thumb, I've lost about 25 pounds. So I'm feeling really good, man. A lot lighter, a lot more fit. So that's pretty exciting for me. I've been watching the NBA season and all the other forms of basketball we've been receiving. So it's fantastic that the season's back. We'll definitely be getting into some vanilla rebuilds soon. But I have a couple different ones coming up, couple different ideas. So in today's video, we are going to be, you can probably tell by the title if I can actually find which menu, but we are going to be having Victor and Scoot Henderson face off in the NBA. Now, I saw those games, just like I'm sure the rest of you did. This man looks like an absolute alien, and Scoot looks incredible as well. So I think definitely the first two picks in the draft, any team will be happy with either of these guys. Obviously, Victor's the number one prize possession, but I can definitely see Scoot making just as much of an impact on his team that he goes to. So I think the game plan for today, as you can see, we're controlling the 76ers, but we're just going to simulate right up until the draft, and then we're going to make sure the first pick is either the East or the West, and if the second isn't the opposing conference, we're going to go ahead and trade for that pick with the next highest East or West team, if that makes sense. So obviously this will probably be a multi-year video, probably have to be a rebuild so we can make sure those teams are good enough to get to the finals. But if it happens organically, I'm here for it. So we will wait until, I'd say probably 2 or 3 seasons. They'll both be around 90 overalls at least. So hopefully that is the case. But without any further ado, I don't have to worry about this season. So I'm just going to go ahead, simulate right to the end, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. All right, so we're here at the end of the season. Luka Doncic wins your MVP. Paolo Banchero is your Rookie of the Year. Andre Drummond, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis Depoy, Cade, Most Improved. And Doc Rivers actually won Coach of the Year. So this is quite hilarious. They won 64 games to 76. And if you've been keeping up with the actual games, they are definitely not looking like a 60-win team at this point, which is a little bit disappointing for how well their guys are playing. But also, I can't say anything because if you've seen any Laker games, you know that that's a whole nother world. And we're just not going to talk about that in today's video. So we don't really care about any of this. We'll just go ahead and see who wins the 2023 NBA Finals. And it looks like it is Minnesota from the West. And then from the East, it is Philly. It's our team. So that's cool. Obviously, we have no stake in this, but we'll go ahead and see who wins it. And Philly actually wins in 7. So there you go. Maybe that's a sign that they're going to turn it around. But anyway, that does not affect us too much. So what we are interested in is this right here. So ideally, we would like it to be an East and West team by default. So that's 2 West teams and then an East. We'll see if the Magic can jump up. So we get the Jazz and the Kings, which sucks. So it looks like the Knicks are going to be getting Scoot and the Jazz are going to be getting Victor. So we will either force trade to the second pick with the Kings or we'll actually make an offer as the Knicks. So I will go ahead and control the Jazz and the Knicks. I'll be right back. All right, so we are here at the draft. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm actually having a lot of fun with 2K this year. I'm not going to lie, it's actually very good. It's obviously harder for the casuals, how they've changed the shooting and different sorts of things that you have to learn by playing the game a lot. But I do play the game a lot. So for me personally, I really enjoy it. But let's see if we can go ahead and get that second overall pick from the Kings. All right, so we will just offer it straight up. Obviously, they're going to decline. They don't have a counter offer. Can we give them... I don't really want to give up any players because I just want to have this organic, at least for the first season, see what the CPU and the development and stuff like that is with these players. So I don't want to touch it too much. Jericho Sims, I mean, a good piece potentially in real life moving forward. He's expired anyway, so I can't throw him in. But I was going to say he's a 72, so he might not even be a rotational player for this team. So instead, we're just going to try to see if we can throw in 23. They say no. Obviously, that's a very valuable pick with Scoot being there. I don't really want to give them that Pistons pick, so I would give them ours next year, assuming we're going to be good with Scoot Henderson, and they agree to that. Cool. So the only thing I will be doing right now is making sure these players go to these teams. And then after that, for the rest of the year, it's out of my control. I'm going to set everything to automatic. Now, that said, if we do get to a point where it's sort of 2 or 3 seasons in, the CPU hasn't built a competent team around these guys, or they haven't maybe developed as much as we would have liked, I will step in, make some trades if I have to, make some mentoring adjustments. So Victor is an 83 and Scoot is a 79, and then Cam Whitmore is your third guy. So outside of these two, it'll be interesting to see who rises the ranks this year. Scoot in New York would be awesome. It just hit me that they have Jalen Brunson, but for a generational talent like Scoot, potential generational talent, I should say, they can make it work. Brunson can play shooting guard. He played next to Luka, or we can do it the other way around. So we will go ahead and make sure these guys are signed, obviously. Hopefully 2K's not that stupid. So it looks like the Jazz had a couple of extra picks on top of that. And then, yeah, so I will go ahead and make everything automatic, and we'll get into next season. All right, so going straight to player progression. Now, I am hoping this doesn't take more than, say, 3 seasons, but you never know with 2K Sim. This could go really well or really poorly. It just depends. All right, and the Utah Jazz actually went ahead and signed Kyrie Irving. I didn't check free agency. So I guess Victor made this marketable and appealing free agency destination. So getting Kyrie for him is actually very good because he's going to be able to, we'll change him back to a point guard. He's going to be able to feed Victor, get him open looks and that sort of stuff. I've also noticed I smack my lips a lot between pauses, so I've got to stop doing that. And apart from that, it looks like the Knicks didn't make any other changes. I think they brought back RJ. I could be wrong. I think he was a restricted free agent. It was 2019, so we can actually check to see if they gave him a new contract. And it looks like he's got 30 mil, or actually no, sorry, that's just me being ignorant. He was extended in real life, so that is fine. And then it looks like Scoot is going to be the point guard. I'm going to go ahead, and I said I wouldn't make any changes, but I think I do have to adjust the rotation so that both of these guys are played at the same time. So Scoot goes down. I think we definitely want him to be the point guard because that's obviously what he's projecting to be in the NBA, but we will go ahead and change that in the ring. Also, I'm trying this new camera angle. I'm up here, so hopefully that doesn't block any of the scoreboards or anything like that. We will go ahead and load in next year's draft class, as in the year after the season we just simulated, not the actual real life next draft class, because that's already been, obviously we have Victor and Scoot. So I will do that, and then I will get back with you guys when we're in the regular season. Just while I'm waiting for this to load in, I've noticed I'm using my studio lights, obviously, and I've got them on a cool light because I prefer that aesthetic. But I'm realizing that they make me look super washed out. I promise I'm not this white in real life. I'm not a ghost, but anyway, that's not too big of a deal. We will go ahead, like I said, and just make, I think Brunson the shooting guard. So he goes down 2, but then at the same time, so does Scoot. So we're just going to have a very small backcourt. We'll see if this team decides to trade actually a small 1 through 3 because RJ, hopefully he can pick it up. He's not shooting super efficiently to start this season. But I think they can make it work, and regardless if they don't, I'm assuming this team will, or hopefully the AI makes a move to trade Brunson if need be. So this actually looks like a super solid lineup, man. Like, obviously, Brunson's been fantastic. I absolutely love that he's playing as well as he is in real life. So it's great for the Knicks. But, you know, this wouldn't be a bad option if they weren't so good this year and they were able to draft Scoot Henderson. But you guys know, actually, maybe you don't know. I don't know if I've said this on the channel, but I do have love for Randall, former Laker. But I do think he is going to have a bounce back season. He's been really good so far to start the year, which is exciting. Victor is wearing number 43. I don't love that. They also signed Kevin Love. I didn't see that. That's kind of stupid. But if no one is rocking the number 1, I will go ahead and change his number. I don't know if that's retired in Utah. I could just be ignorant, but I will go ahead and see if I can change that. All right, and it looks like number 1's actually retired there. So forgive me, Utah fans, all of you out there, because I do not know who that belongs to. I don't know if I should. It's not Stockton. It's not Malone. So I think that's just out of my range, but I will go ahead and make him 21, I guess, because a lot of bigs, legendary bigs have rocked that number. It's a little bit nicer than the 2K assigned to him. And then I think we will also make Kyrie back to a point guard. I know I said I wouldn't make any changes there. I go wish-washing again, but I think these ones are necessary to get the most out of these dudes. So I think outside of that, we will go ahead and simulate this season, see how their natural progression goes. We'll check sort of halfway through the season, see, the Rookie of the Year race, how they're both performing, etc. But we will just go ahead and start simulating. So I'll be back with you guys shortly. All right, so I noticed we just had potentially our first regular season meeting between these two. So I just want to check the performances. Looks like Scoot had a 19, 2, 2, and 2 game, which is pretty crazy. 8 for 15, so good shooting efficiency. 1 for 3 from 3 is fine. 2 for 2 from the line. 6 turnovers, not the greatest. And then it looks like Victor had 8, 3, 4, 2 for 9, and he actually fouled out. So Scoot wins this one. Obviously, it doesn't matter probably till we get to the playoffs and, the finals, obviously. Alrighty, guys. So we are here at the trade deadline. Let's go ahead and see how our guys are doing. So it looks like Victor's on fire, which I would not expect any less. We'll actually go back and see what his highs are. Alright, so I don't quite understand this. It's saying on the left his career high for points is 51, but this is his first season. So I would imagine the one on the right is correct. So it looks like he's had 31 points. He's made 4 threes, attempted 10. He's had 16 rebounds, 6 offensive, 12 defensive, 9 assists, which is really nice, 5 steals, 7 blocks, and 37 minutes played, which is fantastic. As for his actual stats, it looks like he's putting up about 15, 10, 4, 1, 2, 43, 29, 84 splits. And look, those are really good numbers. Not demigod numbers like everyone's expecting, but realistically, even though he is as good as he is as tall as he is, there's still going to be that transition to the NBA. So I don't think he's going to be this god level player as soon as he comes in. He might be, so you can clip that. But then if we go to Scoot, he's actually averaging more points, more assists, obviously. So 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 43, 33, 71 splits. So that's probably about realistic. I would say he could average more points in his rookie season just because he's going to have the ball in his hand and be a creator wherever he goes. So that does make a whole lot of sense to me. And if we look at the Rookie of the Year race, for some reason it is Gregory Jackson, which I don't quite understand. It'd be quite funny if we did this video and neither of them won Rookie of the Year because, that is the whole purpose of this video. But he's averaging 16, 8, and 5. Scoot's averaging 22 and 5. I mean, those are pretty good numbers from Gregory Jackson. And look, it could happen where in real life someone steals Rookie of the Year off one of these dudes, but that is all good. So we will continue. All right, end of the season, Luka goes back to back, and the Rookie of the Year actually goes to Gregory Jackson. That's almost a spit in the face, dude. So can we see... So, all right, this screen doesn't let me change it to per game, which is quite frustrating. But I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I guess they were both snubbed, but that's how the NBA goes in real life sometimes. So that's fine. We won't go ahead and override that. But if we look at first team, they did both make it. Utah and the Knicks, of course. So I do think the Knicks were better, but I also believe that despite signing Kyrie Irving, that Knicks team is a better team just because of the overall depth that they have. And I'm just realizing I'm not seeing any play-in tournament, so I don't know what that's about. I don't think I changed it, which is a little bit weird, but that's fine. We don't have to worry about that. We'll just go ahead and simulate the playoffs. So the Knicks actually did make it as the 8th seed, but they get destroyed, or not destroyed, but they do lose in 6 to the Hawks, who then lose themselves. And then we have the Mavs against the Celtics in the finals, and it looks like Jason Tatum gets the better of Luka Doncic in the finals. That would be an awesome matchup to watch, dude. I would love that. I like both of those guys a lot. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and then Christian Wood as well. Been a really pleasant surprise for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm not too worried about the rest of this. They can just go ahead and sign whoever they want. We'll go straight to rookie signings. I still have it on automatic. We'll give them a couple of seasons of development because I think it would be unfair for me to take over straight away. And I think they did both definitely make impacts on their teams immediately. So it looks like the Knicks had 21, 33, 43, and then another late second. And it looks like Utah actually still had pick number 6. I did load in another draft class, but I'm fairly certain that's not a real dude. So there's some weird stuff happening already in this rebuild, which is fine. Looks like they're declining the option on Lauri Markkanen, which I guess makes sense because they have Victor. But at the same time, he's listed as a small forward. I guess he's just not worth 18 million for an 80 overall, which is fine. And then it looks like they're declining the option on Evan Fournier. That one makes a lot more sense. So let's go ahead and just simulate through free agency. We'll be surprised together, see who they actually pick up if they sign someone. Jazz got Kyrie last year, so we'll see if the Knicks can pick anyone up this year. All right, so it looks like RJ Barrett has progressed. Jalen Brunson's gone down too, but that's from the change we made, putting him back to a shooting guard. Randall and Mitch stay the same. Scoot's up 3, so he's up to an 82. He has an A- mid-range, A- inside, and a B+ 3. Better perimeter defense and playmaking as well, which is really good. On the Utah side of things, Kyrie actually goes up. I don't know if that's because we made him a point guard. It might be. And Victor's up to an 85 already. So, like I said, I think he will be, at least Victor will be a 90 by the end of, maybe not next season, but the season after. I will give him a backup 4 because I don't want him exclusively playing center. And I was wrong. It looks like the Jazz also went out and got DeMar. So they obviously are buying into the Victor sweepstakes and they think they can make the playoffs quickly, which is fine. You get a transcendent player like that. I mean, LeBron's taking most of his teams to the playoffs. Even as a rookie, it only took him, a few seasons, right? So I will just go ahead and make sure Victor can also play the 4. All right. I mean, realistically, as crazy as it might sound, I feel like he might be a 3 in the NBA. Obviously not full-time, but I can definitely see him playing on the perimeter more than he does in the post. But I guess he's as much of a small forward as Porzingis is, so that's all good. I will go ahead and simulate to the next season, and hopefully, I mean, they both make the playoffs, realistically, would be the goal, but I'm also not holding my breath for that too much. So we will go ahead. I'll show you guys right now that I'm loading in the 2025 draft class, so you know I'm not crazy. You can see right here, 2025 NBA draft by Goods. Retrieving content data. Please don't give me any auto-generated dudes. I know it's still relatively fresh, the game, but also I feel like these guys have had enough time to get at least a few real prospects. Let me just go ahead and check to see if I recognize anyone. All right, yeah, there's definitely something funky going on because I'm pretty sure these aren't real dudes. Neil O'Neal, definitely not. So I will try a different draft class. Maybe it's just a glitch with 2K because it's been doing some other weird stuff. It removed the play-in tournament as well, which is a little bit weird. So we'll see this one. This is a different 2025 class. That's ranking. Robert Dillingham does ring a bell. I could just be a casual. John Bol, I'm not 100% sure about that one, maybe. Andrei Stojakovic, I know that's real. I know that's Peja's son. I saw some stories of him and his dad shooting around in Sacramento, which is pretty cool. One of my fellow Serbians. So that is better than the last one, at least. We'll go ahead and leave it there. I was going to say I wanted to make these dudes scoring options, but then I remembered they took that out of the game. So I will just make sure, I know I've changed a few little things, but nothing too major. I just want to make sure they have high shot tendencies. Scoot has a 99, which probably why he was averaging 20 points. But at the same time, I feel like in 2K that usually wins you Rookie of the Year, so a little bit odd. But if we have a look at Victor, yeah, he's only at a 66, so we will bump that up to a 95. We'll bump DeRozan down to an 80, and that looks good to me. So simulating this season, I mean, if we upped Victor's up to a 95, he might be putting up some ridiculous numbers. But I will check in with you guys at the end of the season. We'll see how they did. Surprisingly, the Jazz were actually the better team this year. So you can see they're the 6th seed and the Knicks missed the playoffs. So they're going back and forth, which is a little bit upsetting for us because we have no chance of seeing them in the finals this season. But that does make sense because when you have Kyrie up to a 90, Okbaji is up to an 80, DeRozan still an 83, Kevin Love 81, and then Victor is an 85. They actually brought back Laurie, so he's their 6th man. This isn't even a bad team, dude. You can see Victor went up to 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks on 43, 36, 80 splits. So he's already becoming what he can be. And I think they've got him listed at 7'4". I think he's actually a sneaky 7'5", which is even more crazy, 8-foot wingspan. And then Scoot, still at an 83, but he did put up more points, 22 more rebounds, more assists, same steals, but they were really good to begin with. About half a block, 3 turnovers, 44% from the field, so that didn't go up. His 3-point percentage actually went down, so did his free throw percentage. That's a little bit concerning. Hopefully that's just because of volume. He does still have Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and Quickly backing him up. So this team might just have too many guards, and we might have to look into that. I think if it gets to a point where we're like 5 years in and neither of them have made the finals, they get swept in the first round, as you can see. But if neither of them had made the finals, we might just get some regular season gameplay, because I do want to see how that... Okay, so he actually wins the finals with Shai as your finals MVP. That's a bit crazy, but the Sixers go back to the finals. We're just going to go straight to play progression because none of this really matters to us for what we're trying to do. So I will see you guys in a second. Scoot is up to an 87. He goes up by 5 overalls, dude. Let's freaking go. He's up to an A plus 3-point scoring. He just shot up. That's got to be the boom or bust, man. He's up to an 87. If Victor isn't like a 90 overall and he stays stagnant, his inside scoring goes up a little bit. That's crazy, dude. So I guess Victor had the big jump in year 1 and then Scoot had it in year 2, but they're both pretty much getting close to that 90 overall club. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that happen before. Where the one player first overall pick goes up by like 5 in the first year and then it's the other one in the next year goes up by 7. I think we'll do one more year of real draft classes and then cut it because they're starting to get a little bit out of hand. I know some YouTubers don't like to go this hard with the draft classes, but in my head, it's still better to have at least the likeness of those actual rookies who, even if they don't get drafted, at least we have them in there, not just auto-generated dudes, which we might not be able to get as excited about. Looks like the Knicks did draft a new shooting guard. So Isaiah Eli, I don't know if that's a real person, forgive me. So he was the 10th overall pick. It looks like they moved on from Jalen Brunson. So there you go. I didn't do that. I was saying they might do that. And maybe they traded him for one of those picks. But they did also get Jordan Walsh. I guess it makes sense because you don't need 2 elite little guards. I just want to make sure I'm not missing him. No way. So Jalen Brunson sitting in free agency. They didn't re-sign him? I mean, like 2K, he wants 27 million at an 82 overall. He's probably an 85 because we changed him to a shooting guard. He went down, but really? I mean, they could have at least put him in a sign and trade, but I guess that's not our problem at this stage. So we saw Scoot. Curry's up to a 90. Victor's still an 85. Victor could very well put up better numbers and then this year, at the end of this year, jump up to a 90. But I am hoping, so this you would have to think is a playoff team, right? You got Kyrie, who's at a 90. He's performing to the peak of his ability. Okbaji's a nice player to slide in at that 2 spot, 81. Play a bit of defense, hit a couple shots. DeMar at an 80 should still have some of his shot creating abilities, be able to hit the midi. Chris can stretch a little bit. He can play defense too, and I think Chris is an underrated defender. They still have Laurie off the bench, Malik Monk, Derek White, Walker Kessler. This should be a playoff team, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm too high on them. And then the Knicks, it's Scoot and RJ. So that's definitely their future. I think they can build off that as the 2 superstar players. And outside of that, I thought I was going to say Brad Pitt or something for a second. But I think that does look pretty good for both ends. We will just go ahead and see what happens. So there's a win there. I'm hoping we can start looking at getting them into the finals. I think next year, depending on how much they progress and what moves the team makes, I might make a couple of little trades just to make sure they get into the finals. Because I do think they'll both be in that 90 overall club ready to carry. But outside of that, man, let's just see what happens. 10-10 record, 10-11, not great for the Knicks. But I do think we will have to get some gameplay next year regardless, because it might be the last season we record if we can't get them into the finals. But that's kind of disappointing. I did want that to be the premise of this video, so I might just go ahead, make some crazy trades, make these teams 100% contenders. So it does look like Victor is all NBA third team. I don't see Scoot, but Victor gives them 23, 12, 4, 1, 2 blocks, 40. His 3-point percentage went down, man. He's up to an 86. I'm really confused. Did he get an all-defensive team? He did not, but Lucas starts making them now, which is quite... But it looks like that other Knicks rookie did make it. So they both made the playoffs? No, the Jazz didn't make the playoffs, dude. So they've gone 3 seasons in a row where they take it in turns in making the playoffs. Do go and have a look at how Scoot did. So he's up to an 88. I think we saw that. He might have even gone up extra due to the morale boost, but he put up 21, 3, 8 assists, 2 steals, 50, 40, 73 splits. That's insane. He's taken that Ja Morant level jump, which Ja Morant's crazy, dude. Even an extra jump this season, getting that 3-point shooting down. That's scary if he's going to be making that. He's going to be having a signature shoe come out next June. Around then, we will go ahead and simulate this, which is pretty exciting. I'll definitely be copping. I was pretty naughty recently. I just went ahead and got a new rotation. So I got some KD 15 Arm Pearls, LeBron 20 Time Machines, Freak 4s in black, and the Luka 1s in the Signal Blue. So definitely have to chill. I'll only be copping, I think, the Ja Morant signature and the Tatum signatures next year, which they said around American summer. So, I'm just going to say June, but... The Kings go ahead and win the finals against the Celtics. Domas Sabonis is your finals MVP. I did not think I would ever be saying that sentence out loud. Go ahead and say Scoot's at that 90 overall club. So this is what I said. I think it's 3rd or 4th season. And Victor's up to an 89 too. Cool. So I guess he just took a year off getting better, but he is also up to an 89 now. If we go ahead and check his badges, it looks like he's got a decent amount. I'm assuming some the last year of his rookie contract. So Masher, Bully, Posterizer. So some pretty good finishing badges, some pretty decent shooting badges. No catch and shoot, which I find kind of surprising. Break starter makes sense. Needle threader, hyperdrive, killer combos at 7'4" is ridiculous. Box out beast and anchor. And you can see Scoot is now the best player on his team too. He has 28 badges, dude. And look at all that gold. That's elite. Does he have any Hall of Fame badges? He does have clutch shooter, which is really nice. Ton of playmaking, ankle breaker. So no Hall of Fame badges for either of them from what I can tell, but a ton of gold for Scoot, which is really nice. Rebound chaser at 6'2". That's cool. All right, so I've gone ahead and stopped it there because I wanted to get ahead of this. But the Jazz are the 8 seed. They're 22 and 21, so not very good. The Knicks are looking pretty. So they're 27 and 16. They are currently the 3 seed. I think both of these teams might need a couple of changes just to get over the hump. You can see Scoot is still on fire. Let's see. He's averaging 23, 3 and 8, 50, 38, 73. Still putting up his 2 steals. I would like for him to maybe be in that 25 range, but I guess that guy's putting up 16. RJ's putting up 20. Randall's putting up 15. Mitch is putting up 5. They signed Mikal Bridges or traded for him, it looks like. It looks like maybe they signed him. So he's putting up numbers. 13 off the bench for Quickly. They have Oladipo. So that's actually a really good team, man. I don't know if I should do anything to mess them up because I'm thinking if we do decide to go one more season after this, then that could make things bad. It looks like Victor's putting up 24, 10, 4, 50, 40, 82. So actually fairly reasonable and realistic stats he could be putting up in real life, both of them. So I'm impressed with the roster creator of this class. So I think actually we might give them one more year because if they're up to like a 95 overall, which you would hope they are by next season, they should just make the playoffs automatically as a top 4 seed, right? Because you can't be that bad and have, you know, like a Giannis or a Luka or something on your team. So I think I might be shooting myself in the foot here, but I think we will go one more season. All right, so we do have Victor on All-NBA second team. Scoot Henderson doesn't make any team because you can see that the guard rotation is pretty stacked. Dyson Daniels progresses really well too. Love that from my fellow Aussie. We have a look on the right. The Knicks did finish as the 3 seed, which is expected, and the Jazz are the 5 seed. So I guess technically there is a chance. Let's go ahead and simulate this game. Utah wins their game. The Knicks win their game. OKC wins, but New York wins. Utah goes up 2-0. The Knicks go up 3-0. 3-1, 4-0. Okay, Utah's up to the second round, so we might actually get it this season sooner than I thought without me having to do much, but let's not jinx it. So we have Scoot putting up 28 and about 10 on 60, 46, 78 splits in the first round, dude. That's crazy. Within the first 4 games, he's a playoff performer. Let's get it. RJ giving them about 18. Randall's giving them about 18. This Eli guy's about 16 points. I feel super disrespectful if he's like a star college or high school player or whatever because, you know, it's hard for me to keep up with that. I don't live in America, so it's easier to keep up with NBA teams. But it looks like Mikal had a really good series too. Then if we look at Victor's stats, he gave them 25, 8, and 5 on 50, 50, 70 splits. They're both playoff performers, dude. Let's get it. Kyrie gave them 28. So it looks like they have Houston in the next round, who have Jamal Murray now, Jalen Green, who's been tearing it up this season. That's been really fun to watch. Tari Eason and Jabari Smith is already up to a 90 overall. They're definitely the better team, man, I would have to say. I just saw we have Patrick Williams too. And the Knicks did win their first game against the Pistons, so they still have Cade, obviously. That's an awesome point guard battle. That'll be so fun to watch. Even the shooting guard battle, I mean, you know, Ivy clears quite easily, but RJ and Ivy, I guess, would be quite fun. They have Porzingis too, so I don't know how this is going to fare. So we're down 1-0 here. We're up 1-0 over there. 1-1 on both sides. 2-1 on both sides. 2-2 and 3-1. So I think I will go ahead and just help out Utah because I'm assuming... Oh no, they're running a 9-man rotation, so that's not the end of the world, but we will just go ahead shorten some of these guys' minutes so we can go ahead and have more minutes for the star players. So we can go about 40 to Kyrie. Actually, we'll go 43 each to those guys. And then I don't really trust anyone else in the starting lineup, but I guess if I had to do something, I'd do something like that. And 2 there. So let's go ahead and see if they can go up 3-2. They don't, but the Knicks are through to the conference finals. So let's go ahead and see if they can tie it up. See if they can go ahead and tie it up 3-3. They don't. They do lose in 6, which is fine. So it looks like the Knicks weren't ready either. And it's actually the Kings going back with Keontae George as the conference finals MVP, and they sweep the Celtics, dude. Kings fans got to be loving that. We will go ahead and offer Scoot a max deal to stay with the Knicks. Give him about 33. And then I just want to make sure Victor... Okay, the Pacers are giving him a deal. which I feel like going from Utah to Indiana is pretty much the same thing. So we will see what happens. They want to re-sign Patrick Williams on that much money. I'm going to go ahead and say no to that, see if we can get someone better. Otherwise, we might be able to trade him. Kyrie, they definitely want to bring back, give him a 2-year deal, drop that a little bit just so we can go ahead and trade him, I would imagine, because I think we can definitely get someone better. And I'm going to make sure that they're signing Scoot Henderson. Okay. But I think I would enjoy Cam Reddish on this team. So let's go ahead, give him a 2-year deal. We'll give him about... We might actually up that. So we'll give him about 7 mil so we can trade him. And then this other team should have a little bit of cap. So Cam Payne, Emmanuel Quickly, they do have to bring back actually. So we might just go ahead and bring him back over, pay him a little bit. So I think upgrading this roster is going to come through... It's going to come through trades, not necessarily through free agency, which is what I was expecting. So if we have Scoot, we have an elite point guard. We would like to keep RJ ideally, but I would be stupid not to test the waters on RJ, because if we can get him a superstar running mate, then I would definitely do that. I forgot they changed the picks to L stick, left stick, which is kind of dumb, but let's see what sort of offers we get. I don't see anything that's necessarily making them better straight up. So we might just see if we can trade these other dudes without moving RJ and have him included in the big three. So I think I will go ahead and try to make this deal happen. So this Eli guy, he was pretty good for them last season, but we'll be doing him and Randall to get Chet back. We're throwing in 1 first-round pick. Do they agree to that? They want an extra first. They really want to give me this guy who... I really don't want. So is there any way I could just... Definitely not Scoot, could you imagine? Or RJ. I keep thinking because it's left stick now, I keep getting that wrong. But if I gave you a second and I just gave you, I don't know, Mitchell Craig, would you do that? That'd be cool. So that is the first trade. I think we'll definitely be moving on from Mitchell Robinson now. So we do have a big 3 of these guys. They also brought in Tyus Jones and Quickly. So I think if we put those together... We throw together another first-round pick, see what we can get. But I think this is definitely the move. So they're still offering me Jaden Ivey. So I did see this before, but I thought it didn't make too much sense because we want Scoot to be the primary ball handler. But if they're offering me basically a 90 overall for Mitchell Robinson, I got to take that. So we'll go ahead and make that trade. So this team's looking good, man. We're going to have Scoot Henderson, Tyus Jones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our power forward spot's not good. I wish I'd seen that before. But I think we can maybe make a move for 1 more of these guys just to get a serviceable power forward. Otherwise, is there anyone available who we can afford? O'Shea Brissett. Not really. Derek Jones. Nerlens Noel, sure. Bring him back to New York on a minimum because Chet, in the worst case scenario, can play the power forward. So we will go ahead and do that. But I will see if there is a way for us to get a better power forward. I think we will go ahead and make this trade for Aaron Gordon. And I think that finishes up the Knicks. So if we have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the Knicks are good. Let's see what we can do for the Jazz. They are good with their point guard, but I will, like I said, see if I can trade Kyrie because he might be able to get us a really good piece. Cameron Boozer, that's not Carlos's son, is it? I don't know. I could be completely off there, but this team's actually looking pretty good, pretty well constructed. I will just test the waters because if we can get a superstar, superstar, I know they had that conversation, is Kyrie a superstar, Tatum and Taylor Rooks or whatever, but if we can get a superstar, like a top 5 player, I would definitely do that. Well, you know what? I might not mess with this. I think they've put together a competent roster, so let's just go ahead, see if we get to play progression. Kyrie's down to like an 88, then I'll be pretty upset. We might have to consider trading him again, but hopefully he can hold up for 1 more season. He does drop 1. He's still an 89. Victor's up to a 94, which is fantastic. Ogbaji stays the same. Boozer's up to an 80, 80, 78. So this team has a lot more depth, whereas the Knicks are a lot more top-heavy, although they still have a bit of depth themselves. They do have nice big 3 there, and we actually have Chet going against Victor Wembanyama, which is awesome too. That'll be a fun matchup. Hopefully they can both stay healthy, man. Alright, so I think we did a good job, lads. You can see on the bottom left, the Knicks 34-15 and 32-15 for the Jazz. So they're very even. They're both 1 seeds. That's got me considering, do I have to make any changes? I think I will just keep going to the trade deadline to make sure. Okay, they actually made their own trade. So they went ahead and got Lonzo Ball on the Jazz. I'm assuming they kept Kyrie. How the heck did they do that, dude? Nah, no way. I gotta check that, bro. That's insane. I've never seen that. How the heck Did the Utah Jazz manage to get Lonzo Ball at around a 90 overall without making any significant trades, or without trading any significant players, might I say? Unless they had someone I'm forgetting. Did they sign him? Did they sign him and I just didn't realize? Don't tell me he's making like 2 mil. Let's go, dude. The CPU finessed. There's no way. That's hectic. All right, so I don't have to make any trades here. I mean, I did sign Cam Reddish on the mid-level exception. I mean, even he's been good. He fits the team. Does he play good defense? I mean, in real life, he's pretty solid. But 2K has him with decent defensive badges, no clamps, but good interceptor. Victor's gone off. I in my right mind, I can't let them bring Kyrie off the bench, so we will go ahead and see. He goes down to an 88. Lonzo goes down to an 84. Damn, so... who's going to have to bite the bullet? I think we'll have to go Kyrie because that is just too much of a drop-off for Lonzo. Knicks, did they make any changes? They picked up Jared Vanderbilt. Okay, so... And they have Aaron Gordon? Or was he always here? I thought he was on the other team. Dude, I'm tripping. They didn't make a trade with each other, did they? No, so he was on New York. That's good. They got an upgrade at this stage of their career in Jared Vanderbilt. Is he taking threes yet? Yeah, 28%, but whatever. I guess he's just there for defense. Chet's probably hitting like 40, 38, yeah. You can see Victor's been a 3-time All-Star in his career. We'll have a look at their accolades when they're done, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me actually just check to see whether or not Scoot has had any. I mean, he's not putting up crazy numbers. He's just been really good. So, no, I guess he's had the better team success though. So, you'd probably take that. We have 40 and 16 for the Knicks and 37 and 18 for the Jazz. They're still the 1 seed by about 2 games. And then they're up by about 3. So, do we need to make any trades? Because I don't want to risk either team not making the finals. And I don't think that will be a problem for the Knicks because we have a ton of really good players, but you can never be too sure. So Ivy's been elite, 43%, 40% there, 40% there, 40% there, and 39% there. So this team is just spacing the hell out of their opponents. They're the new Warriors. I mean, this team's probably good, right? Yeah, no, I don't think this team needs any changes, but I do think the Jazz could potentially use an upgrade at that small forward spot because they are still starting Kyrie, but Okbaji definitely is not a small forward, at least in 2K. He might develop into that in real life, put on some weight, be able to defend those big... I think I'd test the waters on Cam Reddish, right? Because he's been good. He's been very good, actually. So he might be just what this team needs, and trading him might just throw out the flow completely. But I think if we can upgrade that position, we'd be stupid not to try. All right, so the next trade-off is going to be for Andrew Wiggins, and they agreed to that. Okay, I didn't even have to do anything. So I think he does make them a little bit better, obviously, just sort of an upgraded version of Cam Reddish. We also got back this Bubba Miller dude, who I guess he's an elite defender, so that might have been a nice pickup. Can he shoot, though? I'm assuming he can't. So his 9th overall pick in 2023. He can actually shoot a bit. The W trade in the chat. I think this should get this team over the hump if they were struggling to begin with. We did have to give up Walker Kessler, which is fine to make the money work. So I'm happy with both teams moving forward. I'll see you guys in the postseason. So we were fighting for the 1 seed on both sides. We finished as 2 seeds, which is completely fine. I'm not too fussed about that. That's just semantics again. So if we look at this, I mean, Lonzo, about 11 and 10 per 36, good shooting. That's fine. That's Wiggins. So Kyrie, 18 points. Makes sense. That went down a bit. 13 for Wiggs, 49, 41. Splits perfect. Baba, his 3-point percentage dropped off a little bit, but we know he's giving us great defense. We saw Victor. Okbaji as our 6th man, giving us really good stuff as well. How's Carlos Boozer doing? Not Carlos Boozer. Cameron Boozer. My mistake. So he's been pretty good too. And then those other guys. Scoot put up 23. Yeah, these aren't all NBA. I mean, they are all NBA numbers. 23 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds. Really good efficiency. Free throw could be a little bit better, but I guess with all the crazy stat lines 2K players put up, it makes sense. And then Jaden Ivey, very similar stat line, just less assists. So there may be 1A, 1B. And then we saw RJ before. Vando, he's not there to shoot the ball. So they both just have defensive 4s next to their Chet and Victor, which I didn't even realize. That's pretty cool. And quickly, Tyus Jones is somehow on fire. Great player as well, though. And then quickly, his numbers there. We will just go ahead, see what 2K wants to do with the playoffs. Let's go ahead and get started. So 1-0 both sides. I'm really hoping this is the case. 2-0. 3-0. Can they sweep? 3-1 on both sides. Don't blow it. 4-1. Beautiful. So they mirrored each other perfectly. Now we have the Kings and the Celtics. I would say I'm more worried about the Celtics in the sim, but the Kings have made the finals like 3 times, which is pretty scary. But if we go back down here, we'll go game by game. 1-0. Can we get the Knicks? They're down 1-1 on this side. 2-1, man, the Knicks. Oh, boy. We're going to have another team lose in the second round, aren't we? So can we do anything about this? I mean, Saric is cold. You're not even playing, my guy. So 15, 18, 23. They moved Vando to the bench. They put Aaron Gordon back in the starting lineup. I mean, I guess. Quickly, we definitely want as the 6th man. So we'll do something like that. Why is Chet only playing 30 minutes, dude? So we'll do 40 there, 38 there. I'm hoping Scoot, yeah. And then we'll go 40 there. Why the heck? So can we go ahead and win one game on this side? We can. It's 2-1. Can we go up 2-2? We can. 3-2 on the other side. 3-1, man. Who is it? Is Tatum still there? He is. So it's him, D'Lo, Desmond Bain, Robert Williams, Gary Trent. That's not a bad team. Yeah, this team's power forward spot just isn't great. So if I do, I'll just cut it till the next playoffs if I have to, but might be, I think it's definitely going to be upgrading that power forward spot because Vando is borderline useless in 2K. I think we probably want to up his shot tendency though, because I'm going to assume 25. Yeah, come on 2K, be better. I mean, I know he doesn't shoot a whole lot, but Christ almighty. So quickly, he's the 6th man. He can be like an 85, sure. 99 on these two guys. We can probably lower him down to a 95. Chet Wise, come on, man. We'll go 85 there, something like that. And we'll actually lower that a bit more too. So, let's see. Utah is in the conference finals. Can we go ahead and tie this series up 3-3? It's not looking awful, but it's also not looking great. They're up by a little bit, 83 up by 10 going into the 4th. They blew it because of course they did. 111, 119 tie game. Oh man, they lost. They lost on a buzzer beater, man. Oh, come on 2K. I mean, at least hopefully we can see Victor go to the finals, and he does. He averages 40 in that round, so I'm not sure Scoot would even have much of a chance, but they lose him 5 to the Magic. So I'm just going to cut it. I'll be back in the next playoffs because this is getting out of hand. I think we're almost, not 10 years in, but getting towards there. So I'll be back with you guys shortly. I'll try to upgrade that power forward spot. But we have a 1 seed and a 2 seed, so we were battling again throughout the season. If we have a look at the stats, you'll also see how crazy the teams and the trades got in a second. But Scoot gave us 25, 12, 50, 40, 70 splits elite. Jaden Ivey's still here. We have Amani Bates, I'm pretty sure that's him. We traded for Paolo Banchero, and we have Chet Holmgren. And then we also got Bones and a few other guys for the bench on this team. Chet's still looking really nice. And then on the Jazz, we got Davion Mitchell. He was the highest overall point guard available. Moved Nick Smith back to a shooting guard, so we have an extra 89. And they both played pretty well. Victor's numbers also looking elite. 50, 40, 90 splits for a big man who's 7'5", 25 points. We moved him to the power forward because we picked up Khalil Ware. He's giving us about 12, 11, 2 blocks. And decent efficiency from 3, actually, which has gone up since we picked him up. He's a good defender. Then we still have guys like Barbara Miller, Josh Christopher, Jovic, and the rest of the gang. So hopefully I don't have to sit here and do one more season because this is just getting ridiculous. Once you get this far into the sim, every team is so good. So we will just go ahead and simulate around 2-0, 3-0. And of course, Utah's down 3-2. I don't even know if Luka's still there. Is that the case? He's not. They now have Devin Booker, which also annoying, but we will see what we can do. This is the Jazz, correct? So let's go ahead. We always have one team lose in the first or second round, man. So go ahead and lower all these minutes. Let's go ahead, simulate with Simcast. Please don't make this all for nothing. And it looks like we're back and forth. I have a bad feeling we're going to get destroyed. The sim engine on this game is really terrible, dude. Really terrible. I was going to say we came back for a second, but whatever. See if the Knicks can at least go to the finals. They don't even do that. So I've wasted enough time, man. I'm just going to go ahead, go to the next season. We'll get some regular season gameplay because this is beyond a joke. It's literally at a point where every team has like 1090 overalls. So it is what it is. We'll go ahead and just simulate to the next season. All right, so it is another day for me, and I decided I refused to let 2K win. So what I did was I grabbed the prime version of the players, not the prime version, but you know, the version that we had them up to in the last portion of the video. And I've gone back to the first year in a new save because I also realized they were making some crazy rule changes that I didn't approve of, and it was messing up the league. So we are now back in year 1, technically, but we have basically Prime Victor, basically Prime Scoot, and they both made the finals quite easily. So you can see Victor is your West MVP, and your East MVP actually goes to Bam, not Scoot. So these teams do look a little bit different. I'll just show you quickly. So we have Scoot, Lonzo, RJ, Christian Wood, and Bam. De'Aaron, Terry, OG, Sabonis, and Victor. I think this is also a little bit more fun and more engaging for us because it's current players that are still really good and they're not 10 years older and all washed up. So we are going to go through, simulate this, see if we can get a close game 7. Hopefully that is the goal. So game 1 goes to the Jazz, and Victor Wembanyama puts up 33 points, 20 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. 10 for 16 from the field, 5-7 from 3, and perfect from the line. That is pretty much a perfect stat line. Can't ask for any better. Scoot, though, only 9.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 for 15. Come on, man. You got to step it up if you want to win. The Jazz go up 2-0, so Victor gives them 25, 16, and 7. Scoot was better, though, 22, 3, and 6. From the last portion of the video, that's about what we can expect. They do take a game, which is good. So the only thing I didn't realize is that I probably should have upgraded their badges too, which I don't think I did. I just upped the overall to make them the same overall as they were. So they're probably not as good, but they're still going to be putting up crazy stat lines, so that's fun. 35, 14, 5, 3, and 5 from Victor, so really elite stuff there. But 28, 5, and 4 from Scoot on really good efficiency. So let's see if they can tie it up 2-2, and they can. Let's go, dude. This is perfect. So Scoot has 28, 5, 7, and 3. And we will actually go ahead and check Victor. So 23, 9, 2, 1, and 3. So they've pretty much been going back to back for who's the best player in the series. Let's see. The Knicks actually go up 3-2. All right, and now given it is a elimination game, we will go ahead and simcast this, see if we can get a close game to hop into. Although ideally, I think we would want the Jazz to win, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like we might have a blowout win. No, maybe not. It looks like they are coming back. So let's just have a look here. And it does look like the Jazz are going to win this game. All right, so surprisingly, neither of them have been having the greatest games ever. I mean, Scoot does have 17 with 8 assists, 3 steals, good efficiency, but only 17 points. Derrick Rose is leading them in scoring off the bench. But then Victor, man, so 12, 8, 2, 2, and 3. He's still stuffing the stat sheet, but 4 turnovers, 4 for 12, 0 for 2. So I guess we will see what happens. Let's make sure they're actually in the game, which they might not even be. I forgot I was actually playing, but it looks like nope, they are in. So we will just go ahead and let the AI take over, and we'll see what they think is going to happen. That stupid glitch, even though the camera is always set to 2K when you change it to CPU. Victor puts up a crazy fadeaway. He misses. Rebound goes to Wood, and Scoot is rocking the number 7 this time. I believe he was 0 last time. That's probably just based on a couple of losses. I mean, this game's over, so it looks like 2K's telling us that Scoot is going to be the better playoff player, and he might be the first one to win the championship out of the two. But it could also just be based on the teams they have beside them. I tried to make them fairly even, but you guys can be the judge for yourselves which team you think is better. Alright, so the New York Knicks are your NBA champions. And no way, dude. Bam Adebayo snubs him for finals MVP. So he put up 16, 10, and 5 on 50%. 1 steal, 1 block. We will go ahead and just check to see what the stats actually look like for Scoot, because I kind of feel like that might be a bit of a snub, but who knows. So if we just go to the NBA Finals, we'll go by totals. So Scoot put up more points. He obviously put up less rebounds. He put up the second most assists on the team, second most steals. He shot more efficiently than Bam, and he hit more threes, obviously. 86%. So, I mean, probably up in the air. It's up for debate because Bam also put up 16 points, 5 assists, and 10 rebounds. But Scoot had more rebounds, slightly less assists. Actually, he had only 1 more assist than Bam. But I would take that 50% and that 36% from 3 and those extra points on a team that's so well balanced. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I had to come back to this because 2K, it's annoyed me so much, man, with these sims. I couldn't let it get the better of me again. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.